Pop Smoke was known by some of the biggest names in the business, like Nicki Minaj and 50 Cent. His murder has stunned fans everywhere.
Exploring the aftermath of Pop Smoke's death, we reveal what happened to his closest friends and allies and explore how these individuals' lives and paths have evolved without him. As his legacy continues to resonate, join us as we find out what happened to Pop Smoke's deadliest affiliates. T.Woo. The Woo dance traces its roots back to Pop Smoke and other New York-based rappers. They not only created the catchy tune of the same name, but also used social media and streaming platforms to spread this dance phenomenon far and wide. The dance, known as the Woo Walk, gained momentum through Pop Smoke's albums Meet the Woo and Meet the Woo 2, and its influence extended beyond his local scene to become synonymous with drill music worldwide. This association seems fitting, especially given the global rise of drill music around the same time as Pop Smoke's tragic passing. Growing up in Brooklyn, New York, a neighborhood marked by its diversity and challenges, Pop Smoke was no stranger to the realities of gang violence. Interestingly, his early introduction to music involved playing African drums in church during his childhood. The Woo Walk dance is defined by its distinctive leg movements and a range of hand gestures, from flashing gang signs to tugging at sagging pants between the legs while dancing. The dance's influence has grown to such an extent that even in places like Ghana, the Woo Walk is a go-to response when a drill song pumps through the club speakers. As Pop Smoke and his fellow artists brought the Woo Walk into the limelight, they not only created a dance trend, but also inadvertently spread a sense of unity and cultural fusion. The unique moves and gestures tell a story of resilience, expression, and connection that transcends borders, inviting everyone to join in and feel the rhythm of drill music and the Woo Walk dance. Now, while the dance was popularized by Pop Smoke, it was created by someone else, Brooklyn rapper T.Woo. On a Tuesday afternoon, February 1st, 2022, the 22-year-old Dot, known by his real name Tajay Dobson, was struck by gunshots in a drive-by shooting on Avenue L near East 98th Street in Canarsie. The news was really sad, especially considering that Dot had recently inked a deal with a record label, marking the beginning of a new chapter in his musical journey. Dot was a friend of rapper Pop Smoke, and sadly they both shared the same fate of violent death. Dot suffered injuries to his head and left knee, succumbing to the aftermath of the shooting. Despite being rushed to Brookdale Hospital Medical Center, there was no saving him, as he was pronounced dead. In the aftermath of the shooting, Dot's grandmother shared the details of the incident with the New York Daily News. She revealed that the sound of rapid gunshots shattered the peace of the afternoon. It appeared that Dot had been called outside before the shots rang out. She remembered the shots, 4 in total. It was a swift and devastating end to a life that held promise and passion. Dot's musical journey had reached a significant milestone just hours before the tragedy struck. He had recently signed with $1 Million Music. The label praised his unique talent, highlighting his signature Woo Walk, which had become a defining element of his community's drill music scene. Alongside his music, Dot's exceptional dancing skills resonated with fans, leaving an indelible mark. The young rapper's influence had stretched beyond his solo work. He had danced in Pop Smoke's iconic Welcome to the Party music video. This track was the debut single that put Pop Smoke on the map. This track was the highlight of his first mixtape, Meet the Woo, which dropped back in April 2019, courtesy of Victor Victor Worldwide and Republic Records. Welcome to the Party was more than just catchy beats. It was Pop Smoke's take on life in the streets, the real nitty-gritty. He teamed up with 808 Mello, who brought the magic to life as the sole producer, and they nailed it. The track even got a couple of cool remixes. First up, on August 15, 2019, Pop Smoke linked up with Nicki Minaj for a remix. Then came British rapper Skepta, who jumped in on another remix too, dropping his own version on August 21st, 2019. Those remixes later found their way onto the deluxe edition of Meet the Woo. Now when it comes to reviews, Welcome to the Party got its fair share of love. Critics were vibing with the track, and for good reason. It played a big role in bringing drill music to the mainstream. It wasn't just the music nerds taking note. The song earned its place on year-end lists from Complex, The New York Times, Pitchfork, and even Time magazine. The remix featuring Nicki Minaj landed at number 5 on the US Billboard Bubbling Under Hot 100 and made its mark at number 48 on the Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs chart. The Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, even gave it a nod, with a shiny platinum certification. The music video for the track was directed by Gotti Gotti. The video dropped on May 28, 2019. Pop Smoke also performed it for Vivo DSCVR, giving fans a taste of his energy live. Plus, he hit up MTV's Fresh Out Friday, making sure everyone knew that the party was just getting started. But Welcome to the Party wasn't Dot's only dance appearance. He also graced Fivio Foreign's Big Drip music video. After his death, fellow artists and fans were quick to pay their respects, sharing heartfelt tributes on social media. Fivio Foreign remembered Dot as a prince of the city, someone who held a special special place in the hearts of those around him. As the investigation unfolded, the identity of Dot's killer remained unknown. The killers had fled in a dark SUV. Mike D. Michael Duradola, also known as Mike D., was born on December 30th, 1998, right in the heart of Brooklyn, New York. He is making moves in the acting world with some intriguing projects like The Perfect Murder, Monsters and Men, and 7 Seconds. His journey in acting began back in 2017, and since then, he's been steadily climbing the industry ladder. Acting isn't just a job for him, it's his craft, his passion, and he's determined to carve his own path in the spotlight. Basketball's another one of his skills. He even popped up in the 2018 movie High Flying Bird by Steven Soderbergh. You might have caught him in an A$AP Rocky music video too, and he graduated from Richmond Hill High School in New York, where he played as a guard for the school's basketball squad. In September 2019, D also made an appearance in a basketball advertisement for Adidas. Among his accomplishments, this young actor shared a peculiar relationship with Pop Smoke when the rapper was still alive. On February 19, 2020, Mike D was staying together with Pop at a house in Teddy Mellencamp's Hollywood Hills. At around 4:30 a.m. on that fateful day, the calm of the Airbnb was suddenly shattered. A group of intruders burst in, guns blazing. The event cost the life of Pop Smoke, whose real name was Bashar Baraka Jackson. He was only 20 years old when his life was tragically taken away. Despite being quickly taken to Cedars-Sinai Hospital, he couldn't be saved and was pronounced dead. News of Pop Smoke's untimely demise sent shockwaves through the music community. Fellow rapper Nicki Minaj took to Instagram, sharing a photo and captioning it with words that reflected the situation. Even 50 Cent shared his thoughts on the tragic incident via Twitter, shedding light on the harsh realities of success and jealousy. Amidst the grief and sorrow, Mike D found himself facing accusations that he played a role in the unfortunate turn of events. In a heartfelt Instagram post, he vehemently denied the allegations and expressed his pain over the loss of his close friend. D's words revealed the deep bond they shared, emphasizing that he could never have been involved in such a terrible act. He vented his frustration towards those who jumped to conclusions without understanding the true nature of their relationship. Prior to this emotional response, Mike D had cleared his Instagram profile of all previous pictures, perhaps in an attempt to distance himself from any negativity that might arise from the situation. Interestingly, just a day before the tragedy, D had posted a video on his Instagram. In the clip, he humorously imitated Pop Smoke while holding a stack of money to his ear, showcasing their friendship and shared sense of humor. The video was shot in Beverly Hills. On February 18th, D posted a bunch of pics on his Instagram. In one of them, you can catch a glimpse of the house number, but in another pic, taken at the same spot with those tiles, the number just is not shown. According to reports from the New York Times and Los Angeles Times, it seems Pop Smoke was tied to a Crips gang set, and the shooting that took his life was looked at as gang-related. Pop Smoke burst onto the music scene back in late 2018 with his debut single, NPR Panic Part 3 Remix, and quickly caught everyone's attention. His breakout tracks Welcome to the Party and Dior in 2019 shot him into the limelight. What set him apart was his unique blend of Brooklyn drill and UK drill sounds. Pop Smoke was all about collaborating with UK drill artists and producers, which gave his music a fresh and aggressive twist. In April 2019, Pop Smoke got introduced to the big leagues when record producer Rico Beats connected him with Steven Victor. This led to Pop Smoke signing with Victor Worldwide and Republic Records. He released his debut mixtape Meet the Woo in July 2019, followed by Meet the Woo 2 Inches in February 2020, which debuted at number 7 on the Billboard 200. But tragedy struck just 12 days after Meet the Woo 2 Inches dropped, as Pop Smoke was killed. His posthumous debut album Shoot for the Stars, Aim for Moon, executive produced by 50 Cent, hit the charts on July 3rd, 2020, and made a huge impact. It reached number 1 on the Billboard 200, with every single track making its way onto the Billboard Hot 100. And a year later, on July 16th, 2021, Republic Records released his second studio album, Faith. Pop was born on July 20th, 1999, in Brooklyn, NYC, to a Jamaican mother and a Panamanian father. He grew up juggling between schools and drumming in his local church. He even played basketball for a while, until health issues redirected his path. Pop Smoke chose his name from a fusion of his Panamanian nickname Papa and a childhood nickname Smako Guap. After his arrival in April 2019, and he continued to drop hit after hit, collaborating with big names like Travis Scott. In a significant development on July 9th, 2020, authorities took action, apprehending 3 adult men and 2 minors in connection with Pop's murder. One of the adult suspects faced charges of murder with a special circumstance, alleging the crime occurred during the commission of a robbery and a burglary, while another has been charged with attempted murder. The 2 minors were also charged with murder and robbery, but due to California law, the 15-year-old couldn't be tried as an adult. Similarly, under George Gascon's policy to keep all juveniles in juvenile court, the 17-year-old was ineligible for adult trial as well. Fivio Foreign. Despite an age difference of about a decade, Pop Smoke and Fivio Foreign shared a strong friendship. In fact, Pop had even tried to persuade his signing label to bring Fivio into the fold. After Pop's death, Fivio emerged as one of the few potential heirs to the Brooklyn drill throne. Fivio stepped into the spotlight with his lead single from the album Bible, boldly declaring his status as the new king of the New York drill. The album, for Fivio, becomes a heartfelt homage to his late mentor and friend. He states, "I definitely want to continue his legacy, that's my brother, so I gotta keep his name alive," he says. "I learned a lot from him. I might not have asked questions, but I'm always watching." Pop Smoke and Fivio Foreign were both on the same side in the gang war of Brooklyn. Their music was first connected to their gang. Drill songs talk tough and mention local stuff, and some people connect them to real violence. In cities like Chicago, London, and New York, police and leaders say drill music makes gun and stabbing problems worse. Fivio wants to change this idea. He's strong about showing drill isn't just about violence. He says that violence comes before the music, like sad feelings come before songs about being sad. Bible, Fivio's drill album, deviates markedly from the genre's typical themes of weaponry and gangs, reflecting his aim to redefine drill's image. The Fivio, who once penned menacing lyrics like Blicky in a Box, where Blicky signifies a gun, has evolved. He affirmed that those days are definitely in the past. Beyond his music, Fivio is actively working to enact change. Just before Pop's tragic demise, Fivio joined several fellow rappers in a meeting with New York's mayor, Eric Adams, to address drill's role in escalating gang conflict. While there were reports that the mayor had initiated the summit, it was actually Fivio who had initiated contact. He stated, I just feel like I got a responsibility, so I gotta let it be known, you know? As for the meeting's content, Fivio remained discreet, but he noted that the mayor's stance on drill was more nuanced than anticipated. Fivio's plan aligns perfectly with his big dreams, to reach a wider audience and become a sensation, just like he says, go viral. His first album is a clever mix of styles that aims to appeal to different types of listeners. He's got R&B artist Chloe Bailey and Ne-Yo on board, and even revamped a Destiny's Child song for the radio, with some changes to lyrics that Beyonce requested to make it less explicit. The catchy City of Gods chorus is courtesy of the pop duo The Chainsmokers. While Fivio briefly acknowledges his past connections with the Crips gang in tracks like Left Side, he's toned down any references to his controversial past. Fivio made some changes in his personal life too. He's keeping a smaller circle of friends and has hired a security guard for safety. He moved with his 3 kids to the other side of the Hudson River and is cutting back on partying. He also strives for a more focused and natural lifestyle, staying away from dependencies, including drugs. Even though his line of work is known for partying, Fivio finds maintaining a sober outlook not so tough. While he's busy and might not make it to church, he takes time to keep his connection with prayer strong. Talking about his career and the incredible journey it's been, Fivio attributes it to a higher plan, saying, "Whatever happens, that's God's plan" type. For those who are not close to the rapper, it might seem like Fivio's success happened overnight, but to him, it's been a gradual and hard-fought climb. He emphasizes that he's put in the daily grind, felt every step of the journey, and faced challenges constantly. So this success doesn't feel sudden to him. Fivio, whose real name is Maxie Lee Riles III, was born on March 29, 1990. Growing up in Brooklyn's East Flatbush, Fivio started rapping as Light Fivio back in 2011. In 2013, he changed it to Fivio Foreign and teamed up with friends to form the music group 800 Foreign Side. Fivio's journey started picking up steam when he dropped the hit Big Drip. You could find it in his EPs Pain and Love and 800 BC. By November, things were really happening. He scored a record deal worth $750,000 with Columbia Records, joining forces with rapper Mace's Rich Fish Records. Then in May 2020, Fivio made his presence felt on the Billboard charts with not one but 2 songs, Demons by Drake and Zoo York by Lil Che. That same month, he launched the Foreign Side Foundation, a non-profit aimed at helping at-risk youth, the homeless, and people with ties to gangs or prison. Fivio's star kept rising. He got a spot in XXL's 2020 freshman class in August. Throughout the year, he hopped onto tracks by Nas, Tory Lanez, French Montana, and King Von. In November, he dropped his own single, Trust. Even Christmas couldn't slow him down. He contributed Baddie on My Wish List to Apple Music's Carol's Covered project. Come 2021, he was on Kanye West's album Donda, rapping on Off the Grid with Playboi Carti and OK OK with Lil Yachty and Rauga. Then on February 11th, 2022, Fivio released the lead single for his debut album Bible. It's called City of Gods, featuring Kanye West and Alicia Keys. This track was a tribute to his late friend T. Wu. That same day, he revealed his album's release date, March 25th, 2022, although it was later shifted to April 8, 2022. Magic City with Quavo followed as the album's second single. When Bible finally dropped, it featured stars like $1 AP Rocky, Polo G, Lil Yachty, and Lil Che. It made a splash, debuting at number 9 on the Billboard 200 200 chart. In July 2022, Fivio spilled the beans in an interview. He had inked a deal with Mace's Rich Fish Records for a mere $5,000, and he was still in that deal. Life wasn't always easy for Fivio. After his mother passed away, he found himself living on the streets or staying with friends and family. His mother died in 2016 after a stroke. Despite the hardships, he pressed on and made his mark in the music world. He is a dad to 2 kids from a previous relationship and has another son with someone else. 2020 was a tragic year for him. He lost friends like Pop Smoke and King Von to violence. And if that wasn't enough, his close friend T. Wu was also tragically killed on February 1st, 2022. Bobby Shmurda. Turning down an offer to collaborate with Jay-Z is a rare move for most rappers, but that's exactly what happened when Brooklyn's Bobby Shmurda was faced with a hypothetical choice during an interview. In a chat on DJ Academic's Off the Record podcast, Shmurda got asked whether he'd prefer a rap verse from Jay-Z or the late Brooklyn rapper Pop Smoke. His response raised eyebrows. Without hesitation, Shmurda said, "Pop Smoke." He emphasized, "That's my little I like it. I love Jay too, but I like it." Academics tried to underline the significance of a feature from Jay-Z, predicting that a collaboration between him and Shmurda would be a massive hit, dominating New York City's airwaves. However, Shmurda stood his ground, sticking with his choice to team up with the late rap star Pop Smoke. Shmurda, whose real name is Aquil Jean Pollard, is often linked with Rowdy Rebel and hailed as one of the trailblazers of Brooklyn's drill music movement. The spotlight found him in 2014 when his track Hot soared to number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. This triumph paved the way for a deal with Epic Records, leading to his debut EP, Shmurda She Wrote, released in November of the same year. Born in Miami, Florida, Shmurda's roots span African American and Jamaican heritage. His mother moved to Brooklyn's East Flatbush from Florida after his father was in prison. Growing up, Shmurda had his share of run-ins with the law, including detention for probation issues and a gun-related arrest that was eventually dropped. According to a 2014 indictment, Shmurda was the driving force behind the GS9 crew, an enterprise that tangled with rival gangs, faced murder and shooting allegations, and dealt drugs in areas from Kings Highway to East Flatbush. Bobby Shmurda's musical journey kicked off with a remix of Crime Mob's Nuck If You Buck, although he didn't catch much attention until 2014 when he dropped Hot. Using the instrumental from Lloyd Banks' track Jackpot, the song and its viral music video quickly spread on YouTube that spring. Shmurda's iconic Shmoney dance from the video became an internet sensation, even imitated by stars like Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Drake. After this viral hit, Epic Records signed Shmurda, and Hot became his official debut single. The track reached number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was certified platinum, while its remix featured big names like Fabulous, Chris Brown, and Busta Rhymes. Shmurda's song Bobby also found its spot on the Billboard Hot 100. His debut EP Shmurda She Wrote dropped on November 10th, 2014. An album produced by Jaleel Beats was set for 2016, but his imprisonment caused its postponement. Even behind bars, he kept making music, as seen in his freestyle for Meek Mill in February 2017. In 2018, he contributed to 6ix9ine's Stupid from Prison, which hit number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100. Bobby Shmurda finally returned to the stage at the Rolling Loud Festival in Miami on July 23, 2021, marking his first concert since his release. On September 3, 2021, he dropped No Time for Sleep Freestyle, his first single post-prison. After prolonged disputes with Epic Records, Shmurda's request for release was granted on March 27, 2022, putting an end to his contract tussles and opening a new chapter in his career. Back on September 9, 2016, as part of a plea deal, Shmurda decided to plead guilty. He admitted to third-degree conspiracy and weapons possession, which led to a 7-year prison sentence. The agreement meant he couldn't appeal the sentence, but he'd get credit for 2 years already served, leaving 5 years and then 5 years of probation. His lawyer believed good behavior could trim his term down to around 3.5 years. In early 2017, he was given an additional 4-year sentence for sneaking a makeshift knife into his cell. Luckily, this ran alongside his ongoing 7-year sentence, so he didn't face extra prison time. During his time behind bars, Shmurda's life wasn't smooth. He landed at Rikers Island first, getting into incidents involving street gang members. He was transferred to Clinton Correctional Facility in upstate New York in 2017 for the remainder of his sentence, with protective custody as a measure. After serving 3 years, images of Shmurda behind bars emerged online. Despite a parole hearing in August 2020, he was denied parole that week. Shmurda was supposed to be let out on parole on December 11, 2020, after finishing his whole hole. Sentence. That's what the parole board had decided, but things changed. The Department of Corrections looked at everything again and decided to give him back the good behavior credit he deserved. This made him eligible for conditional release on February 23, 2021. He still had some time left on his sentence, which he would serve while on parole. Finally, on February 23, 2021, Shmurda regained his freedom under the watchful eyes of the community members in Kings County, New York. His parole is set to last until February 23, 2026. Rapper Quavo made his release memorable, picking him up from prison and revealing in a Billboard interview that he was personally going to get Bobby Shmurda out. In July 2023, Shmurda pointed out his opinion, explaining that if you're over 21, you shouldn't be caught up in street culture with enemies breathing down your neck. In an interview on BSW Jake Paul, the New York rapper dove into his views on people past the legal drinking age having ops in the streets. Hey guys, once you pass 21, you can't have ops, bro, he emphasized. You're too old for ops. You should be focused on businesses and stuff, not dealing with ops. If you're 30 and talking about ops, get your dumb ass out of here. You're too old for that. You're supposed to be cleaning up, bossing up like you say you are. I'm just saying. Bobby Shmurda has been candid about various topics in hip-hop and street culture, but his thoughts on rap music were criticized by Charlamagne Tha God in June of 2023. Charlamagne felt that Shmurda doesn't have the right to downplay rap since he's a product of the culture and has maintained notoriety due to it. However, Shmurda's stance on rap music has shifted. He no longer enjoys it and now only listens to new tunes when he's at the club. To him, rap should inspire positivity and uplift people, not glorify negativity. He even prefers reggae music over rap these days, admitting that he's so out of touch that another rapper could diss him in a song and he wouldn't even notice. So, while Bobby Shmurda had strong opinions about street culture and rap music, he's now taking a different path, focusing on positivity and a different musical vibe. Rowdy Rebel. After 6 years of legal setbacks, Rowdy Rebel is embarking on his second chance in the rap game. On December 15, 2020, the Brooklyn rapper walked out of Collins Correctional Facility in Collins, New York, on parole, marking the end of a 6-year prison stint for conspiracy and weapon possession. In the footage capturing his release, Rowdy is visibly excited as he reunites with friends and takes in the cash he's been given. In subsequent social media posts, he was shown back in the studio, crafting new music and planning his next career moves. This newfound freedom and creative resurgence mark a stark contrast to the constraints he faced behind bars. Back in 2014, Rowdy Rebel's trajectory was on the rise. His friend and fellow rapper Bobby Shmurda had dropped Hot, which became a massive hit even though no one expected it. In the same year, Rowdy gained attention with his own track, Computers, a collaboration with Bobby that also went viral. However, in December 2014, their momentum came crashing down. Bobby and Rowdy, along with 13 other members of the GS9 Crips crew, were arrested and slapped with a 69-count indictment after signing solo deals with Epic Records. A 2-year police investigation linked GS9 members to various criminal activities, from igniting gang wars in Brooklyn to firing into crowds and drug dealing. Their musical dreams were abruptly put on hold. Originally facing a slew of charges, Rowdy eventually pleaded guilty in September 2016 to third-degree conspiracy and weapon possession, netting him a 7-year prison sentence. Although it may sound extensive, it was actually an improvement from the initial prospect of 12 years. The twist came from Bobby, who was presented with an option to help. If Bobby accepted a 5-year sentence, Rowdy would be given a whopping 12 years. But if Bobby pleaded guilty to the same charges as Rowdy and accepted a 7-year term, both of them would serve 7 years. They went for it, and the deal was set. During their time behind bars, Bobby and Rowdy became symbols of raw NYC energy and resilience. Despite their incarceration, just as they were gaining nationwide attention, their images lived on through memes and the iconic Shmoney dance gifs. Rowdy Rebel's journey is taking a new turn as he steps back into the spotlight, determined to carve out his own path in the rap world. It's clear that he's ready to level up and dive headfirst into this new chapter of his career. In his first post-prison interview with XXL, Rowdy explored his thoughts and experiences during his time behind bars. When asked about his release date, he shared that he had known it since his sentencing. December 15, 2020 became a beacon of hope for him, a day he eagerly anticipated as a chance to start anew. For Rowdy, having a fixed date to look forward to made his time in prison more manageable, giving him a goal to focus on. During his incarceration, Rowdy managed to stay in touch with the rap scene, despite the limitations of his environment. He proudly claimed the title of Mr. In Tune, revealing his determination determination to remain connected to the music he loves. Even though he couldn't enjoy the same privileges, he found ways to stay current and engaged with the evolving landscape of hip-hop. A notable moment of the interview was when Rowdy discussed the tragic passing of Pop Smoke. The loss hit him hard, and he expressed his sadness over the city losing another young talent. Rowdy reflected on the conversations that could have been and the music that could have been created had Pop Smoke been around. He admires Pop Smoke's ability to make his mark while staying true to himself, and recalls the sense of unity Pop Smoke brought to the community. Rowdy, whose real name is Chad Marshall, was born on November 24th, 1991. Hailing from Brooklyn, he's a rapper signed to both GS9 and Epic Records. Rowdy Rebel made his mark by appearing in Shmurda's Hot video and contributing to the official remix alongside big names like Fabulous, Chris Brown, and more. Growing up in Brooklyn's East Flatbush area, specifically in the neighborhood known as the 90s, he earned the nickname Rowdy, which eventually became his stage name. He's deeply connected to his roots, as many GS9 members, including Shmurda, also come from the same part of East Flatbush. Rowdy Rebel's heritage is Bajan, reflecting his cultural background. The street Marshall grew up on is mentioned frequently in his music. According to Rowdy, he and the other GS9 members talk about neighborhood pals to keep their names alive. Pop's posthumous album was headlined by a track featuring Rowdy titled Make It Rain. The song served as Pop's first solo release posthumously, following his untimely passing in February 2020. The track's release was initially announced by his manager Steven Victor on June 11, 2020, a day prior to its release. This single launch was intended to coincide with the planned release date of Pop Smoke's debut album, which was postponed as a respectful response to the George Floyd protests. Victor's decision aimed to prioritize the movement. In connection with this, Victor initiated the Victor Victor Foundation, a non-profit organization committed to supporting Black youth through initiatives such as voter registration and mentorship programs. Rowdy's collaboration was kept as a mystery at first. Notably, Rowdy Rebel had been incarcerated at that time, so his verse was recorded remotely via telephone. Produced by Jamaica, Rico Beats, and the frequent Pop Smoke collaborator 808 Mello, Make It Rain stays true to Pop Smoke's signature drill style. The song's energetic hip-hop foundation is accompanied by a vigorous beat, accentuated by Pop Smoke's distinctive deep vocals. Luke Wells from Soundigest pointed out that the song maintains Pop Smoke's characteristic essence, characterized by a catchy rhythm and powerful vocals that are unmistakably his own. With Make It Rain, Pop Smoke's legacy continues, offering a taste of the dynamic style that made him a standout figure in the hip-hop scene. Following the death of Pop Smoke, his affiliates faced struggles of their own, and while some met violent ends, others found ways to keep going. Click the links on your screen for more videos like this.